Let's talk about house training. And specifically, what I'd like to address is the subject of crate training. Now, a lot of people might immediately have negative feelings about that. They might call it a cage. That's really mean to put your dog in a cage. Let me tell you something. The number one reason that dogs end up in shelters and humane societies and end up being euthanized is because people don't know how to properly house train the dog, and they get frustrated and they give up on it. So this is a really, really important thing for everybody to know. One of the reasons I love crate training is because it works with the already innate sense of a dog's need for its den. If you've ever had a dog, you've ever had a puppy, you'll notice they love to squeeze into tight places. So putting them in a small area isn't torture for them, okay? You don't want to do it 24 hours a day. And if you tell me that you work 8 hours a day, which really means you're gone 10 hours a day, it's not the best thing for your dog. But there's lots of choices these days with pet sitters, puppy daycare and things like that. But let's talk about the person who may possibly have time during the day to actually do the whole schedule that would go with crate training. First of all, the best tool you can have is a crate that has a divider in it. That's something that I always give to my clients because I want to make sure that the place that the puppy is sleeping, and it should only be there in that area either at night or when you can't be there to supervise the dog, by the way. And it should be able to lay down, stand up, obviously turn around in that area, but not be able to sleep in one end and go potty in the other. Now you may have one accident or something like that, but the dog will immediately have the desire to not soil its den. So it's not a cruel thing to do, as long as you're not leaving that dog in there all the time. Now, the way the day schedule should go will look like this. You wake up in the morning. The first thing a dog does when it gets up in the morning, a puppy especially, dogs will be able to hold it, older dogs, but a puppy is gonna have to go potty right away. So don't get up, mosey around your kitchen, get your coffee, get your puppy right away, take it outside from the kennel to the same place, mark that spot. Take the dog to that same spot every time it goes potty. So that will trigger the dog to know it's time to get down to business. Also, if you have a specific place in your yard that you want your dog to go, he'll naturally go there. Then you'll bring the dog in and you're gonna feed the dog. Now, I usually feed my puppies and my dogs in the morning after they come in from going out. With the puppies, you may want to even put the water in the bucket with the kibble, because sometimes in that small area in the crate they tend to dump their water, and also you can make sure they're getting enough water by doing that. So if you want to do that the first couple weeks, that is kind of a good idea. The reason you're doing scheduled feeding and water times is so you have predictable potty times so that your dog's going to be successful earlier. Now, a lot of my clients tell me their dogs just start, in the first day or two, they just get it. It should never take more than 2 weeks to house train a dog if you're doing it properly. And you need to be consistent, just like you do when you're parenting. So once the dog eats and drinks, okay, you don't want to free water, because if you free water your dog, it's going to be peeing around the house all the time, and you're going to get frustrated, and your dog is not going to know when to go and where I'm supposed to go. So until your dog knows what door to go to and how to tell you how to go out, for instance, some people have a bell by a door. That's why you want to use the scheduling of the feeding and watering. Once they've eaten, you're going to take them out. All puppies are different. Some will go out right away and they'll go pee and they'll poop and come back in. Some need to go out maybe twice to get all that done. Your dog will have a schedule that you'll know within a week. That's like clockwork. And once they've gone potty, bring them in. Feel free to play with them. Put the crate in an area where if they have an accident, it's not a big deal. A place where people are crossing back and forth in front of it, so they're watching the family and things like that if they're in it. But when you're there to supervise, you should let the puppy be able to be out and play. Now when they play really hard, they'll maybe go 15-20 minutes. That will also stimulate them to need to go potty. So if you have a little bit of a play, high energy play time, make sure you take them right out after that. If they do happen to start going to the potty, you usually can kind of see it. They'll do a little circle and a little nose to the ground, and you'll see it, and you can just immediately pick them up, take them outside, take them to that spot. And if they go potty, and every time they go potty in that spot, praise them. Just go, oh, good puppy, and just go crazy. Just don't scare them. I've done that too. I've gotten so excited that the puppy got a little bit alarmed, but just really, praise them for that. So they know it's a big, good thing that they did. And then bring them in, and then they can have, full run of that area that's safe, or a floor that's easy to clean up or something. You want to make sure that until they're fully house trained that you gate off an area. You don't want to have puppies running wild through your house. Again, when you're doing a lot of training, and we'll talk about training in other areas and other videos, but keeping them in a controlled environment will keep you from getting frustrated and not having the control of where your dog is and what they're doing at any given time. And you're gonna have an easier time training if you're there and you're overseeing. Make sure the whole family knows this schedule. The last feeding of the day too should be between 4 and 6, but not after 6. Make sure it's in the crate all the time. Say the word kennel in a nice happy voice when you put them in the kennel with their food, so they associate it with something happy. You don't want to use a crate for punishment. That will make them sour to the crate. Whenever they go in the crate, put a little treat in there, maybe some of their kibble, a toy, and use a very sing-songy voice. After they eat between 4 and 6, again, take them out. They're gonna go out and go potty a few times before evening. So feeding early like that is gonna give them a better chance of getting through the night without having to get up to go potty, so they can be more successful in going through the night. And the more their bladder grows, the longer that they'll be able to go long periods of time. So your expectations shouldn't be huge at first, but it will grow as the puppy grows. So if there's any other questions anybody has about crate training or house training, please personal message us or email us, and we'll be happy to cover that.